Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be working on the Mustang on the top half of the motor this time. Where we left off last was we started up the car, had a ton of leaks coming from multiple places. We got the transmission pan gasket replaced with that nice new gasket and everything. So now we got to work on the intake manifold. We had a rather sizable leak kind of back in this location here. And let me see if I can get the camera in there a little better. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. You can see we have some crusty RTV and everything in here, and you can actually feel over here on this right hand side where all that gasket is actually kicked out, and I might even be able to pull it out almost. So it's basically, there's nothing there on that right hand side, so we need to replace it. So we went ahead and got a new Velcro gasket. The part number on this one is 1250. Here it is. So after watching our favorite YouTuber, Andy Cruz, we found out that we made a mistake whenever I installed this originally, based on what he did. So I went ahead and used these cork gaskets here on these portions, and he did not. He just used the black RTV kind of sealant and just got rid of all these cork gaskets. So I've had haven't had really good luck with any of the cork gaskets I've used. So I actually replaced the transmission pan with a nice newer Moroso unit. I'm got to do the valve covers here. I got new gaskets for that as well. And then we are going to be doing away with those and using these Velcro gaskets. So the thing I like about the Velcro gaskets is for the cooling jackets on the ends of the gaskets. So on these sides, you know, the forward and aft sides of the motor, just like the rest of the ports, it has a blue kind of raised ridge here, which kind of helps seal that up to where we shouldn't get any coolant or anything around. I will be adding black the gasket maker around the coolant ones for sure, just to make sure that they do hold in place and don't leak any coolant out. So today we're gonna be working on getting everything disconnected, getting the intake manifold out of there. Should be pretty easy because I don't think I have really any fluids in the car since we've been trying to get it started. Had tons of leaks, drained everything out. So that should be not too bad. Basically, all we need to do is disconnect some of these hoses here, the upper radiator hose, the thermostat hose, and then this kind of like bypass for the heater core hose. Fuel line, like fuel line going to the carburetor, even though we're just gonna be taking the whole entire carburetor off. And then same with the distributor. I'm just gonna take the distributor out. Car's timing is way out of sync, not set correctly anyway, so I'm not really too worried about going ahead and taking that guy out. And then beyond that, it's just taking out I think there's 12 bolts, purely guessing, could be wrong, the 12 bolts on the side of the intake manifold, and it should be simple, just kind of pull it up and out. This is an Albrock Performer, so it's aluminum cast, which means it's going to be a little bit lighter, easier to handle. And pull that guy out. We're going to clean everything off with a razor blade, probably flathead screwdriver to start, to get any chunks off that we may have. And then after that, we'll just throw some brake cleaner on there and wipe everything down. And then put the new gaskets on, install it. Hopefully that'll be good. So let me get you guys on a time lapse here while I go grab some tools. And then I'm just going to start ripping, the motor apart here, the top half. And we'll get back to you when we get done with that. So we went ahead and got that intake manifold gasket off, guys. Let me go ahead and show you the issues that we had in terms of the leaking. So right back in this corner here, you can see this gasket. It should be way up here and sealed, right in through here. I mean, there's daylight there, and this was all the way back to like there. So tons and tons of daylight. You can see on the other side it's a lot better. And actually reading online and watching Andy, he didn't use this piece of cork and then RTV, he just used RTV, so that's what I'm going to do as well. On both sides. I'm just going to get rid of these little... Oh yeah, the front, I didn't even have it, or it's stuck on the front. Probably stuck on the front. But anyway, before I get going too much more, I need to get all of the jackets and pockets and everything filled. So I'm going to be putting some blue shop towels and everything, and hopefully get this gasket off. Yeah, so is that... Nope, that's just residual. Cool. So the gasket itself, that's the head gasket. Hold it. All right. Yeah, I don't want to really get anything in anything. That's weird. Gasket's like up there. Anyway, yeah, so I gotta fill everything with some blue towels really quick, and then I'll start scraping. That's gonna be the plan for the night. Hopefully get it all nice and clean, and then maybe install it, depending on time. If not, I'll go ahead and get it tomorrow. All right, put it back on another time lapse. Oh, and then here's the intake manifold over here. I got to clean up this as well. Luckily, I can take this inside tonight and work on it. And we should be fine. Is that jacket supposed to be covered? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Next day here, guys, we got everything all nice and cleaned up. I got to this point in the motor last night. After you guys saw in that time lapse, it probably took about 45 minutes to an hour to get it to where it is at. You can see everything's looking pretty good, and really no complaints. Just made a lot of mistakes. So I went to install my take off the old gasket when I installed it the first time around. I really did quite a few things wrong, because this front side here, it was actually riding up behind this edge. There's a little lip on this intake manifold, and this gasket, the cork piece, it fits right in here, and it was riding up on that edge to about here, somewhere about this bend, about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way through this bend, and then it was back and flat. So I got really lucky that this RTV actually sealed that side up pretty good. It just didn't do a good job on the back side. So this time around, I'm not even going to use those cork gaskets. I'm going to do about a 1/2 inch of RTV on there, and then I'm also going to make sure to RTV the cooling jackets on the front, and I believe the rear one too. If I remember correctly, it's definitely the fronts, and I think it's this one too. Nope, those are definitely not cooling jackets, because there's, I don't know, I have to double check. Right now I gotta go and actually grab a extension cord. I've been renovating a house, a family member's house who's staying at my house for a while, and I left my extension cord over at their place, so I gotta go grab one so I can use my shop vac and suck everything out of there while I got everything protected, hopefully get any debris and anything out. And then I also don't have my compressor with me. It is at their house as well, so we're just going to use a shop vac. Hopefully that'll get everything nice and clean, and if I'm comfortable with it, then I'll proceed. If I'm not, then I'll just wait and go over there and get my tools I may need. One thing I did do that I found very useful was actually use a chisel. For this chisel set, I used my big 5/8 one here, and that was nicer because it wasn't as harsh as a flathead screwdriver, and I had way more control versus a razor blade of any sort or anything that was really super sharp. I could keep it nice and flat too at an angle and really get the big stuff off, and it did a really good job. Lastly, I followed that up with some 320 grit sandpaper, and that was just to kind of take off any little pieces or anything I had. I did have a finishing I don't know exactly what it's called, like a finishing handle maybe. It's like a flat thing that you can put sandpaper on, and it keeps it nice and flat. It's probably about 8 inches long or so. Grab my keys here. I should have that here, maybe. Yeah, there it is. This guy here. Oop. Yes, I went ahead and used this guy here. And let me zoom out. Went ahead and used this guy here. And that made it really nice because, you know, you have the sandpaper that just kind of holds into place here. But then I was able to keep everything nice and flat. So you can see everything's nice and flat all the way through. And I was able just to kind of work at it a little bit at a time with that 320. And it did a really good job. When I come back over to the heads of the car, I actually had these gone through it before I even started posting to YouTube. I took them to a local machine shop to me called Ellison Machine Shop, and they did an awesome job here. They're located in Maryland, and basically I was going to have them go through, probe, mic, potentially bore, not bore out the heads, but port and polish the heads and everything. But these are just stock cast iron heads, and he said, you know, really for the price that would cost, it's well worth you know, more money to have him do that work than probably what these are worth. And especially that he said that, you know, given the unknown state of the motor, that, you know, you might not want to spend all that extra money on you know, working on these heads if, you know, something were to happen. So he decked everything for me for a very, very reasonable price. So whenever I did the head gaskets, the exhaust manifold, and now the intake manifold and everything, he went ahead, decked everything, sanded it down. They got everything nice and flat, and I think they took off like 1/1000th, 2/1000ths, something really small, and milled everything down just to make sure that we have a good, nice flat mating surface for everything. So with that, I'm pretty confident that just kind of using some 320 grit sandpaper, really just trying to get the big chunks off, that everything should go together pretty smooth. And that's where we're ending it right now. I gotta run to the store, get an extension cord, and then I will also grab some brake parts cleaner just to kind of clean up everything with some liquid, make sure we get any oils and residues off our hands. Off all the mating surfaces, just the best that we can. And then after that, I will be getting back to putting the intake manifold on. I'm not gonna take you guys to the store with me, so we'll be returned. I'll get you guys back on camera. Okay guys, so we went ahead and got everything all ready to go. And as you can see, I didn't use a gasket, and I got about quite a bit of RTV on there, and I went a little bit further up on both sides, on the front and the back. Probably did a little bit too much maybe, but I really wanted to make sure that that is nice and covered and good. I also didn't know if I was supposed to add RTV really around these jackets because they have the blue indentation. But doing that really helps solidify, holding everything in. So I think that was actually kind of worth it. Yeah, so I think we are good. I don't have the torque pattern memorized, and nor do I have it online. I didn't pull it up, but I basically know it starts with cross pattern. You kind of start in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you just keep going around. So I know their torque specs are 10, first round's 10, second round is 20, so that'll be pretty easy. Right now we are ready to go. We just need to slap this intake manifold on there. So here goes nothing. Hoping that we nail this the first time. Unfortunately, move this camera. This side has a curb, so it's a little bit taller, and I'm a short guy, so give me the height to hopefully get it in there. All right, so right now I just got the passenger side kind of on, and the planning is just to kind of drop it and hopefully should have some RTV oozing out in the front and the back. Looks like the whole thing needs to go forward just a tad. Can't really see up in there. Okay, that looks looking like that's probably pretty good. Back. Looks like it's probably pretty good too. Hopefully. So this RTV off my hands. So let's see if this lines up. Oh good, it does. About this guy. Looks like it's stuck with a gasket just a little. There we go. Awesome. So we should be pretty well lined up. One thing to note about these bolts, I think they're the original ones. I never replaced them. I don't know if they're like a one-time use thing. You know, you get them torqued one time, then you're supposed to replace them. I really just don't know. So we're just gonna go ahead and roll with it and hope that we aren't royally messing stuff up. I'm sure all you smart guys down in the comments will let me know, which has been really helpful having you guys down there teaching me, because I don't really know much, but I try. Okay, looks like we're missing one. I guess I didn't have one of my files. There it is. Alright guys, so those are all looking good. I'm going to go ahead and torque those. It's 10 foot-pounds and 20. I think we're going to be good. I really hope so. I hope we don't got a leak this time. Oh yeah, we got plenty of RTV in the back. I can feel. Oh great, I just probably made a mess of it. Hopefully I didn't. Grab an extension real quick. Got this guy set to 10. Let's grab the extension. One. way. Three. Get this back one. Basically all I'm doing is just switching around. I don't know the order. For all you wondering, there is a 1/2 inch socket on this guy, so it's like a 1/2 inch and 9/16. I feel like you could take apart half this car with. Unfortunately, I'm shipping the hanging over a couple spots in the intake manifold. That's really not too big of a deal though. All right, there's 10 on all of them. Set this guy up to 20. Some light in there so you can see. We're just gonna repeat that pattern. Don't exactly have it right, sure, but pretty close. Short, guys. You reach all over there. And then, see, I already messed up the pattern a little bit. This one? Yeah. So that one's good. That was good. Good. That one's a little rounded. I know those last two were good. Cool. We're tightened down to 20 foot-pounds, guys. We are hopefully good to go. I'm going to end the video there. I got some other stuff I'm gonna be working on. Well, I got the intake manifold off. I'm gonna be doing the valve covers next. So with that, guys, if you guys can leave any comments, let me know about those water jackets. If I did anything wrong, let me know in the comments below. I really am hoping that this hopefully fixes any and all leaks. We mainly just had a leak on the back side of the intake manifold. So hopefully this will be the last time I take this thing off. Really hope so. It's not fun. Not that it's terribly difficult or anything, but I'm over it. I think for about the last year, I've been saying I'm ready to drive this car. So hopefully we are in the right direction. With that being said, guys, thanks for all the support. If you guys want to go ahead and leave any suggestions or comments below to help anybody else along their Mustang restoration journey, that'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video where I'll be doing the valve covers.